The girl pulled out the stick from the ground. She actually received billions of gold coins. Just because this is a special city law. As long as you comply, you will receive a reward. Violators will be punished. Virgil originally promised to be engaged to Catherine 7 years later. He also successfully graduated from clan school. He was supposed to enter one of the 7 major knighthoods in clan as an illegitimate child. However, Hugo made him try to enter the House of Commons. Virgil couldn't believe it. Because only clan direct lineage can pursue further studies. The rest will be sent to the battlefield. The House of Commons manages the clan's everyday affairs. There is a vacancy for the Lost City Vice-Consul. Would you like to give it a try? Virgil's past life, a job he never dared to dream of, is now within reach. He immediately agreed to give it a try at Hugo's request. Hugo, without saying much, directly issued the appointment letter. Virgil accepted this task because he believed that having power would allow him to safely hone himself. The humiliation of his past life is vivid in his mind. He still remembers the feeling of his head rolling off the guillotine. One day he will make Hugo experience the same. Virgil arrived at Lost City 2.5 days later. He held a grand party at the first opportunity. The secretary mentioned that the city has been facing a deficit in finances for many years and expressed concerns. Even before he finished speaking, Virgil smirked wickedly. I'm just laying out the excrement for the flies. The next day, Virgil arrived at the city square. Upon his declaration of his identity, he picked up a long stick. Then he fiercely thrust the long stick into the ground. Then, in his capacity as vice-consul, he enacted a special law that would reward 1 billion gold coins to the person who pulled out the wooden stake. But the city residents felt that Virgil had ulterior motives. He saw that no one dared to try. Virgil increased the reward to 1 billion. But the people find it absurd. Are you making fun of us? Who would even attempt that? Virgil lowered his head when he saw the situation, saying, If that's the case, the person who pulls out the wooden stake will receive 10 billion gold coins. Has no one done it yet? Virgil believes that beneath a great reward, there must be a brave man. One who can raise his hand. She turned out to be a girl who had not yet grown out of her childishness. Can I give it a try, despite the strong dissuasion from others? But the little girl had to take risks in order to cure her mother's illness. She felt that even if she made a fool of herself, she should still be rewarded with a few gold coins. Virgil said nothing more and gestured for the girl to pull out the stake. The girl crouched down nervously. The next second, she effortlessly pulled out the stake. She looked at Virgil with a fierce expression. The little girl closed her eyes tightly. She was worried that she would be executed on the spot. But Virgil kept his promise and took out 1 billion gold coins. He then asked the girl for her address. The remaining gold coins he will send guard to deliver to her home. Virgil touched the little girl's head. This is the law that everyone must obey. His performance made the city residents believe in the law again. Since Virgil implemented the special law, the crime rate has halved. The secretary also couldn't help but exclaim, I've been working here for 20 years, and it has never been this peaceful. Virgil was very proud. When a citizen disrespects the law and doubts the law, violence cannot be used to suppress violence. In fact, this is a performance by past life Catherine. The city under her leadership has a crime rate of only 1%. Then Virgil opens the map. He marked the location of the illegal organization. The secretary was surprised why Virgil knew so much about the illegal organization. Because Virgil did a thorough investigation in his past life. Just then, someone outside the door was in a panic. The youth association requested to meet with you. Virgil just smiled knowingly. It seems like a fly smelling excrement. From the secretary's mouth, it was learned that although the youth association was established by the wealthy heirs of 7 native clans, in reality, it is just a promiscuous club. Virgil, however, was excited. It's time to clean up the pests that are eating away at the city. Wealthy heir held a bottle of wine worth 1 billion. Others can only drink it by kneeling and licking under his indication. The yellow-haired man is very comfortable, really troublesome. I can't spend all my money at all. The brown-haired man echoed, saying, This must be thanks to Baskerville. The purple-haired man also raised his glass. The slave trade continues to grow. All thanks to the Baskerville clan only caring about expanding their territory. And there is no surveillance by the royal family here. The clubs here are more luxurious than those in the imperial capital. The yellow-haired man burst into laughter. Baskervilles are a bunch of idiots obsessed with swordsmanship. They even slaughtered the most loyal Delano clan. Now the 8 clans have become 7 clans. This is the consequence of hindering our entertainment. The new consul just threw a party since he arrived. I bet we will get along very well. But to show our dominance, it's okay to tease him a bit. We are going to throw a grand party for him with the best wine and the best women. He's just a 15-year-old kid without any money. Then he will probably ask me to pay the bill for him. He will be very grateful to us. At this point, the bartender calls Beauty over. And Virgil had already appeared at the door. Does anyone need a male companion? But the bartender just grabbed his hair. Where does this little brat come from? Virgil's eyes darkened. In the surprised gazes of the wealthy heirs, he directly severed the bartender's wrist. My name is Virgil, Baskerville yellow-haired man quickly greeted, and Vice Consul suddenly arrived. What brings you here? Virgil remains calm. Weren't you the one who said you wanted to see me? But they didn't take Virgil seriously, still considering throwing today's drink money to Virgil. Virgil saw the situation and reached out towards the table. Then suddenly Mana erupted, only to see the red wine glass shake violently. Then the wine glass shattered with a loud noise. The yellow-haired man was stunned. Did he really break all the wine glasses just by tapping the table with mana vibration? This means he is at least an advanced sword master. Yellow-haired man immediately turned his head and asked the intermediate sword master behind him to do something. But he was afraid that he couldn't hold on for even a second. Virgil patted the red-haired man's shoulder. Did you ask me to pay for the drinks? The red-haired man looked very nervous. I swear I will pay for the drinks myself. Virgil had no intention of letting him off. You had such a great time last night. Do you want to make me take the blame for it? The yellow-haired man explained quickly. Who would do something so despicable? We would never show disrespect to the Baskerville clan. We just wanted to test the abilities of the new consul. As you know, the Lost City is filled with corruption. We need to know if you can resist this temptation. Upon hearing this, Virgil directly punched the red-haired man. You can test his dog however you like, but the dog cannot test its master. You are not afraid because of your wealth and power. That's because you have never seen true terror. After speaking, he then stepped on the red-haired man. You have done a lot of bad things, haven't you? For example, kidnapping and illegally selling slaves, and disrespecting the law. You should know that without teaching animals a lesson, you cannot tame them. So it's time to punish you fearless dirty animals. After that, Virgil sent them to prison. However, the secretary thought he was a bit too hasty. But Virgil told him not to worry. This matter hasn't started yet. They have expanded their influence and targeted the power of the clan. At sunset, I will execute them all and eliminate anyone associated with them. But Secretary is still very worried. Their clan will not sit idly by. Virgil is very confident they dare not. Because these people are all connected to criminal organizations. But we have no evidence. When Virgil heard this, he told him, very simple. If there is no evidence, then create evidence. Anyway, he doesn't care what will happen next. Because he knows that the demon clan is about to descend. He is very likely to be sent to the battlefield, and even if not, he will not stay here forever. Just then, a person walked over carrying a bag. I have completed your commission, Lord Consul. When he opened it, it turned out to be various torture instruments. Even the demon clan would not be able to withstand these torture instruments. Immediately, he took off his coat. Hope you can be tough till the end. That's how the wealthy heirs confess to all their crimes. Nevertheless, All citizens consider this just a power game. As long as the native clan bows slightly, they will be released. Just as predicted, the 7 major clans went to the consulate to apologize overnight. They brought with them sincere intentions. But the 7 severed heads are still on display in the city square. The signs hanging above their heads detail their crimes. The secretary feels that this is tantamount to declaring war on the native clan. The war will only end when one side is annihilated. But Virgil is confident because he already has a plan, which is to sell himself as a slave. This is the most ruthless man I have ever seen towards himself. He serves as the city's highest magistrate. He actually sold himself as a slave, simply because the 7 great clans were too rampant. He wants to eradicate all the city's vermin in one fell swoop. The underground slave market uses the circus as a cover. Every noble attending the auction wears a mask. The secretary disguises herself as a traitor to sell off Virgil. Joker, with black hair and red eyes, assures that he will fetch a satisfactory price. As more and more people arrive, Joker announces the official start of the auction. The first item is the top-tier monster hell bull with 19 hearts, starting at 1 billion gold coins. As the nobles continue to bid higher. In the end, it was sold for 2.5 billion. Soon it will be Virgil's turn. The noblewoman's heart fluttered at the sight of Virgil's strong physique. She bid 600 million without waiting for the call. The man behind her raised it to 800 million. Just as they were competing eagerly, the fat man directly offered a despairing price to others. 6 billion. It turned out he was Grayson Barron. He recently absorbed a hefty underground fund. He believed that even if he resold it, he could make a big profit. Virgil was quickly brought to his side. He said with his mouth, "I am not a bad person." In the blink of an eye, saliva was flowing out of his mouth. "I can't wait to play with you in 10,000 ways." While Virgil raised his hands. The next second, he forcefully broke the chain with a loud noise. He then stepped down with his left foot. He actually lifted him up and flew him away. Then he grabbed his back. "Let's play a game of spear and shield. I'll be the spear, and you be the shield. If you don't die, you win." With that, he grabbed forcefully with his left hand. Grayson immediately frothed at the mouth and fainted. The girl beside him was shocked and asked, "Who are you?" "I'm Virgil Baskerville," he replied. Everyone present couldn't believe it. How could the vice-consul be here? Despite the shock, Virgil remained calm and said, "Circus, right? Perfect for today." He warned everyone present that no one would leave unharmed. Seeing Virgil unarmed, Joker immediately ordered his men to kill him. 3 people jumped up. Beelzebub's sword sprang from his wrist. The next moment, the dog's head was removed by Virgil. The gladiator, incredulous, wielded his hammer to attack Virgil, only to see Virgil directly confront him. In an instant, Virgil split him in 2. Joker saw the situation was not good. He actually used the secretary as a hostage to threaten Virgil. "Put down your weapon, or else you can say goodbye to him." But Virgil took out a whistle. Then he took a deep breath. Finally, he blew the whistle sharply. Joker stared at the scene in a daze. But he saw nothing unusual happen. He even mockingly whistled loudly. Is it just a bluff? No sooner had he finished speaking than he was silenced by a sword at his throat. Yellow-haired man saw Joker being killed in an instant. He drew his sword and attacked Hooded Man. But Hooded Man couldn't be bothered to look at him. In the blink of an eye, he struck out with 3 swords. Soon more hooded men arrived. In the blink of an eye, they took control of the circus. Women with glasses are knowledgeable and well-informed. She recognized that it was indeed the Bulldog Knighthood of the Baskerville clan. Just when she didn't know what to do, the Bulldog had quietly come up behind her. But Virgil was standing in front of her, blocking her way. The woman stayed. Just then Bulldog immediately withdrew and knelt down on one knee. Virgil immediately ordered, "Tear the rest of them into pieces." Next came a unilateral massacre. A man wants to voluntarily put on handcuffs. But Bulldog replied that we never carry handcuffs with us. The next second, his legs were chopped off. People about to be executed don't need to walk. At this point, Virgil's Uncle Thomas exulted. "Are you satisfied now?" "I am very satisfied, dear uncle." Thomas raised his glasses. "Let me know if you need anything." Now he understands why Hugo values Virgil so much, because Virgil was already so fierce at the age of 15. After saying that, he gestured that he had something to attend to and left. And Virgil, after confiscating the funds of the underground organization, he found the true target of this trip, the body of Hellbull. The next second, Beelzebub's sword began to stir restlessly. "This is the first top-level monster you have devoured. Have you ever seen a man as tragic as this?" He just woke up to find the room filled with corpses. He was hit by 2 poisoned arrows as soon as he left the house. He was splashed with sulfuric acid while strolling on the street. He was poisoned after drinking coffee. Even when he crossed the road, he was run over by a car. It turns out that all of this was retaliation from the 7 great clans. But he emerged without a scratch. He even made the clan leader of the 7 great clans kneel and beg for mercy. Just after using the Beelzebub sword to consume the Hellbull, Virgil gained the toughening skill to strengthen his body 2.5 days later. All underground organizations were wiped out. Important leaders were also beheaded as a warning. He only did it to make people aware that everyone is equal before the law. The 7 major clans officially united to protest. Behind the scenes, they resorted to assassination. Virgil remains adamant. Death is the only outcome for those who break the law. After he reported the matter to the Empire, the arrogant clan leaders also knelt before Virgil to apologize. But Virgil's reply was simple. "You have violated the law, and all your properties will be seized. In order to pay for your crimes, each family must hand over 3 individuals to be executed." This resulted in bloodstains on the execution ground floor that remained wet for several days in a row. From then on, the city's unemployment rate dropped significantly. All citizens became fans of Virgil. But Virgil forgot that a beauty was still locked up in the cell. "I'm sorry. I have been busy lately, and forgot to come see you earlier. You said your name is Cindy, right?" Cindy was blindfolded. "Why did you let me live?" Virgil stepped forward to untie the cloth. "I just want to ask you a few questions." But Cindy's face showed a fierce look. "This reason is not enough to let me live. From my research, your ability to make money is quite good. If you fully showcase your talent, you will definitely be an excellent trader. I assure you, if you answer my question, I let you go. If you don't answer, you will regret it forever." Cindy gritted her teeth in frustration. "I will do my best to answer your question. Do you think my recent actions are good?" Cindy was very perfunctory. "I think you are doing very well. But Virgil saw through her, if you are not honest. I can't guarantee to keep my promise." Cindy changed her tune upon hearing this. "I think the way you handle things is wrong." Virgil grinned and then, with a hint of ambiguity, pulled Cindy along, telling me what went wrong. "Although you have established laws to punish criminals, it seems to have only increased your authority on the surface. But many citizens die as a result of the law. In the long run, you will incur the hatred and anger of the people. In addition, as your power grows stronger, the clan will also see you as a threat." Virgil listened with interest. "So what do you think I should do now? First, you must return the power and glory to the clan. Secondly, in order to avoid drawing attention to yourself, you should go to Demon Mountain or the Imperial Academy where you can quietly develop yourself. The clan leader will take the blame for you." Virgil's face darkened instantly upon hearing this. "So, you mean to let Hound eat his own master as you suggested?" But Cindy was not intimidated by Virgil's aura. "As a hound, this is the only way for you to dispel his suspicion." What Cindy didn't expect was, Virgil agrees with her suggestion, because their ideas are exactly the same. Then he stepped forward and opened the handcuffs. "As I promised, you are free now," Cindy said to Virgil as she left, hoping that what we talked about today will never happen. But Virgil's words made her stop in her tracks. Have you heard of the Messy Clan? It used to be the most prosperous clan in the founding clans of Lost City, but suddenly disappeared for some reason. It turns out that the youngest son of the Messy Clan was showing off his swordsmanship at a birthday banquet. But what is unbelievable is, the swordsmanship displayed by the child is precisely the secret swordsmanship known only to Baskerville. So the news quickly reached the clan leader. The Messy Clan was also exterminated as expected. However, all of this is a conspiracy by the 7 major clans. Cindy listened but said it had nothing to do with her. Virgil then went on to say that the fools of the 7 major clans rescued a 1-year-old girl from the massacre. She was forced to endure cruel torture because of her beauty. Cindy, angry, wanted to escape upon hearing this. However, Virgil said that the story had a sequel. A handsome new consul was appointed to the city and punished the criminals. After tormenting the 7 idiots, they also apologized for their once disgusting crimes. I did not expect that Cindy's eyes were filled with tears at this moment. Who are they apologizing to? Of course, they are apologizing to the only surviving member of the Messy Clan, a girl named Cindy. How can you believe that I tortured them and made them apologize? Virgil calmly removed the torch. Just go and see for yourself. After saying that, he brought Cindy to the cell where the wealthy heirs had been previously detained. Just saw Cindy widen her eyes. She didn't expect that the wealthy heirs actually inscribed their crimes with their own flesh and blood. Upon seeing this, Cindy instantly broke down. But Virgil spoke slowly. Despite their painful deaths, the revenge of the Messy Clan is not over. There is still one clan left to deal with. Destroy the Baskerville clan. You have the right to do so. After hearing this, Cindy wiped away her tears. As a member of the Baskerville clan, why are you helping me? But Virgil said coldly, you are a smart person. Cindy understood Virgil's meaning when she heard this. I will repay your favor. Then she turned around and left. I promise you will never have to worry about money again in the future. The fiancée unseen for 7 years has now reappeared as a fair and graceful young lady. But as soon as they met, the girl threw a flame ball at him and accused him of being unfaithful, pointing her finger at the boy's nose. She even threw the token of love in the boy's face simply because he saw her body. He refused to admit it and wanted the girl to forget about the engagement. Right after Virgil and Cindy separated, Hugo called Virgil back. He informed Virgil that he will enter Imperial Academy this year. He also plans to arrange for a few brothers to enter school together. Without hesitation, Virgil said he would bring the triplets along. But before that, Hugo asked him to go to the barbarian tribe for an investigation. After he parted ways with the secretary, Virgil led the team on the expedition. Not long after leaving the city, Virgil noticed something unusual. In the next moment, a man in black clothes jumped out from behind. The leader respectfully saluted. They turned out to be the escort team of the Bulldog Knighthood. 2.5 days later, they arrived at Demon Mountain, where the fortress of the Morgan clan came into view. Suddenly, 3 figures appeared on the city wall, not allowing anyone to pass without permission. They turned out to be the 3 beauties of the Morgan clan. Virgil shouted loudly, I am here on behalf of the Baskerville clan to attend the meeting. Please open the city gate. However, the 3 sisters refused, citing the need for approval as the reason. It was all because this place was rented by the Morgan clan. They were using Baskerville's laws to block their way. Virgil instantly got a headache. But the next second, he came up with a solution. I am now changing the law. Master can evict tenants he doesn't like. So let me say it one last time, open the city gate for me. The 3 sisters were scared by Virgil's momentum, but they didn't back down. Immediately, they activated Water Element Magic Water Stream Pillar and sprayed it straight toward Virgil. Either leave, or I'll see how strong the rising star of Baskerville is. Virgil was speechless for a while. He couldn't fight back, and talking was useless. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind Virgil. It turned out to be the 3 brothers rushing in on horseback. Just saw them strike a pose. Let's handle this. In an instant, Virgil's art style changed. Are you three here to be funny? It turns out the three of them stepped forward to thank Virgil for recommending them to enter the academy. However, they did not know that Virgil just wanted to have a few sandbags at the academy. But Virgil still smiled. I believe you can handle this matter well. Three sisters saw the situation and cursed them. Idiot! Three brothers responded by raising their middle fingers. The irritable three sisters couldn't withstand this provocation and threatened to properly teach the Baskervilles dogs a lesson. In his past life, Virgil already knew that the three sisters used water magic, earth magic, and wood magic. The combination of the three can make the power 10 times stronger. Countless thorns block the city gates. Can the three hounds of Baskerville break through our defenses? However, Hudson disagreed and drew his sword forward. He directly used a clean and neat first sword skill. The next second, he widened his eyes. I saw the vine instantly attacking, and he just managed to block it with a horizontal sword. But he was also knocked back by 2.5 meters. Three sisters felt very pleased. Idiot's sword couldn't even touch us. Three brothers instantly flew into a rage at the words. The next second, they directly confronted the three sisters face to face. But the three sisters are no ordinary people either. Both sides fought back and forth. Virgil, however, found it boring. He hoped they would all die. At this moment, someone cast a flame ball. What are you doing on my turf? The next moment, a huge flame ball swallowed the 6 of them. Immediately following was the rumble of an explosion. Virgil was excited. My mouth is really effective. They must all be dead. But he did not succeed. The three brothers just sustained some minor injuries. The three sisters were also scared, thinking they were about to die. At this time, there was an additional figure on the city wall. The newcomer was none other than the genius girl Catherine. I do not allow anyone to run wild here. And three sisters explained that they are preventing invasion. But Catherine widened her eyes. She looked at her fiancé whom she hadn't seen in 7 years. She nervously tousled her hair. Long time no see. Virgil also immediately perked up. This little girl has really grown up. But he was not interested at all. He asked Catherine to open the door directly. Catherine, upon hearing this, was very angry. It had been 7 years since they last saw each other. Don't you have anything else to say? What else do I need to say? The next moment, Catherine pointed at Virgil. Unfaithful man, you've seen my body and still want to deny it? She blushed right after saying that. She immediately grabbed Virgil to go horseback riding. Then she started talking about Barbarian. How much do you know about Barbarian? Of course we understand. We have been fighting against them all along. Which Barbarian tribe do you hate the most? The arrow technique of the warrior tribe Baraka and the wizard tribe Rococo Baraka far exceeds the Empire's. I'll give you 8 points for understanding them so well. But it's 8 out of 100. Virgil, however, doesn't understand. I hate smart men. I always find foolish men more interesting. Then she evaluated Virgil, riding 6 points higher than me. Wearing 4 points duller. Not answering questions affected 1 point. But the next second, Catherine swooned. Your face is 99 points. The deduction of 1 point is because your expression management is very poor. Do you think my requirements for a future husband are too strict? But Virgil pretended to be clueless. When did I become your future husband? Virgil agreed to the engagement proposal at the age of 8. He passed Uncle Catherine's test. Then he passed without any surprises. Since we have made a commitment, I must stick to it. I will not back down. But Virgil's next words made Catherine feel both embarrassed and angry. I thought it was just a child's joke. I can pretend that nothing happened. After listening, Catherine returned the clothes she had kept for 7 years to Virgil, then turned and walked away. Know that I'm a genius. Once something happens, I won't forget. But what concerned Virgil was that the clothes had not been washed in 7 years. How lazy can you be? 2.5 minutes later, They returned to the fortress when suddenly someone called out to Catherine. "You come with me quickly." Search team captured a barbarian scout. Two girls fought over the right to choose a spouse. They actually tied the boy tightly with a rope. Whoever's rope doesn't break gets to have the boy. But the boy just grabbed the rope. "Sorry, I cannot be your husband. Because I'm already engaged." The single YouTuber silently shed tears. After Virgil and Catherine ended their sweet date, they found out that the search team had captured a barbarian who remained tight-lipped about everything. Upon hearing this, Catherine decided to use spirit communication magic. However, she was informed that powerful magic could not comprehend his thoughts. 2.5 days ago, you attacked the fortress, and among the people you captured is my cousin. Where is she now? But they can't understand beast language at all. And the translator was also captured in the previous attack. At this point, Virgil mentioned that he understands a little bit of beast language. "Then let me ask cousin how he is doing." Virgil then proceeded to ask the captive in slightly clumsy beast language. But he revealed a crafty smile. "That girl made us extremely happy." Virgil fell silent upon hearing this. But he also reluctantly informed cousin had passed away. Catherine was instantly furious after hearing this. Then she, in her capacity as vice-captain, sentenced Barbarian to death. And the death penalty was immediately carried out. The next second, he was pierced through the heart by a ground spike magic. But Catherine didn't want him to die so easily. She instantly cast a flame spell, and the magic barbarian was burnt to ashes in the blink of an eye. Catherine also angrily turned and left. But Virgil followed her worriedly. He looked at Catherine, who was silently crying, and gently comforted her. "Don't be too sad. I believe cousin left this world without pain." "Do you think I'm stupid? Tell me the truth. How did cousin leave?" Virgil could only helplessly tell her the truth. Catherine listened, and tears of sadness streamed down her face. "I'm sorry that sister didn't protect you well." Watching the pain Catherine, Virgil wanted to reach out and offer comfort. But the next second, he gave up this idea. At the same time, he also missed the opportunity to connect deeply with Catherine. 2.5 minutes later, Catherine stabilized her emotions. "Now is not the time for mourning. I should seek revenge for her." Virgil reached out his left hand at the words. "This is the girl I know." Just as they were about to hold hands, the sound of barbarian attack horns shattered the atmosphere. "It looks like you will be able to seek revenge soon." Outside the fortress, Baraka's arrow hand was charging, aiming at the city walls. Only to see the arrow burst out. In an instant, it reached the city walls. The next second, a gap was shot out of the city walls. At this moment, Captain Baraka also ordered the attack. The barbarians rushed in instantly. They were aggressively trying to snatch men to marry. Virgil had just arrived at the scene. He was quickly tied up by 2 ropes around his neck. "I caught a big fish. Hunting for a husband is quite easy." Virgil looked confused. "Are they capturing prisoners in order to reproduce offspring?" "But sorry. My fiancée does not allow me to have concubines." After saying that, he hurled Barbarian Beauty to the ground. Other people immediately shot 2 swords. But they were easily blocked by Virgil. But Hugo had warned him before. He cannot participate in the battle until he meets up with the main force. But Catherine conjured up a flame ball. She directly threw the flame ball in front of Virgil. The 2 people who had just shot arrows were instantly obliterated in a puff of smoke. Only fire element was seen flowing in her hands. "Go die, you dirty scum." Then she turned and asked Virgil, "Why didn't you just eliminate them directly?" "Because the clan leader told me not to get involved in the fight," he replied. Catherine then activated the 4 methods formation in response to his words. "Then let me take care of eliminating them all. Let them pay with their lives for my cousin, you dirty scum." I didn't expect someone to blow out an Ice Soul Silver Needle at this moment. Careless Catherine was instantly hit. She fell down instantly due to the anesthetic. And Barbarian wants to capture Catherine. But the rope was grabbed by Virgil. Then he advised Catherine to retreat because the main force of the Baskerville clan had not arrived yet. But Catherine was determined to seek revenge for her cousin. Virgil tried to reason with her. Just then, he felt a surge of death approaching. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and dodged by bending over. The attacker turned out to be the barbarian team leader, Night Fox. Just as he marveled at Night Fox's amazing strength, Catherine was actually captured. Before he could even think, Night Fox's attack has already landed, followed by a whip kick. She suddenly kicked towards Virgil. Virgil was instantly kicked and sent flying 2.5 meters. Just as he was contemplating whether to go all out, the barbarian spoke in broken language. "I said we will meet again." Virgil suddenly realized. It turns out she was the barbarian girl that was saved in the circus before. "To repay your kindness, I'll spare you this time." Then she turned around and rode on the Wind Wolf. "If you want to save your woman, it depends on whether you have the guts to come with me,"